Hey guys, I thought it would be fun just to pop on here for a little bit, see if you guys had any questions, and talk about some of the other tools that have been in my toolbox, different things I have tried, and just give you guys a little idea, because once you try one, you kind of wonder, wow, this is so effective. What else could be out there? But first, I want to tell you, this video is brought to you by joinmochi.com. It's the GLP-1 provider that I have used, got to my goal weight with, and I highly recommend them. I find them to have so many different resources and tools that you can use. They have nutritional training. If you're looking to make little increments at a time towards eating healthier, I believe that they also have actual therapy. They have licensed practitioners to help you get the tools that you need for your goal. And as far as I can find, they are the most affordable provider, as well as they can submit your insurance approvals. So if you have been wondering if you have insurance coverage, they have been doing it for thousands of people and could submit it for you as well so that you could get name brand medication through your insurance. So all around, great service, highly recommend them. If you use the link in the description, you save $40 off your first month, and I don't think you'll regret it. One thing you can do to know if you're getting the best price is to go to a website called glpwinner.com. Might be GLP-1 winner, but I think it's just glpwinner.com. And the catch here is they ask you to put your medication and your dose in, and I suggest don't put the starting dose. Put something higher, because you like to buy bigger vials. And some companies might get you in the door with a cheaper price. However, if you buy bigger vials or you dose up, your price goes up. And with the one company that I had before this, I was forking out like $1,000 a pop. And here it is much, much, much cheaper. I will warn you, they criticize Mochi because of all the attacks on them. But as far as I'm concerned, everything has been smooth sailing, except for the one time that their pharmacy took a hit. But they switched pharmacies. They've upgraded their website. They've upgraded the communication to us as to the status of our prescriptions. And so I'm not having any issues. It's just full attack on the big guys that are the most affordable. And to be honest, I love to support a company that keeps it affordable for me. Okay, so once you try GLP-1 and you give it some time, this isn't something you have to do day 1, day 21, or ever. But once you get that feel, you start to go, what else is out there? Like, this stuff is amazing. This is part of a family of thousands, and it's part of my body. And none of what I'm about to say is medical advice. I'm not a practitioner. Do your own research before taking anything, and just obviously be careful with your body and ensure that you're doing what's right for your body through people you trust, through information you've researched, and so forth. So this is just my experience and what has been working for me. And I'm also keeping track of what I see in the groups. Before my group one of my groups is almost 700. The other is about 500, I think. Before the groups grew, I reached out to other people who had huge groups, and I asked them the big questions. So I also have weighing out what's happening in other groups. I can say, if you're looking for group support, you can get it in many different ways. One, on Facebook, we have a group called Eat Meat, Lift Heavy GLP group. And that is a great group. It's a lot of fun. It's just, we do have to be careful with what we talk about on there. And if the group gets much bigger, eventually it will get deleted. All the big people's, Dave from On the Pen, his has been deleted. The Countess of Shopping, hers was like 20,000 or something. Hers was deleted. Dave had another group that was almost 20,000 that was deleted. My friend, Fit Flavor Fun, her group was deleted. So it's not like a super long sustainable place, but it's also a place we already work. So I wanted to create a group there just to make access easy. Hey guys. Yes. Okay. We'll definitely talk about that one, because there's something I left off on that one. And then the other way, you can join radicallyhealthy.com. We have a free community. We have a private community with 8 support calls per month. And then I have one-on-one coaching there as well. Okay, so we're going to start with Mots-c. This is actually one of the newest ones that I've tried. It really improves mitochondria. It improves energy. Some people call it exercise in a bottle. I've really loved it, and I didn't have to do the mega doses that some protocols would say. I actually started with 1 milligram per day, 5 days on, 2 days off. But hold the phone. There was a problem, which I'll tell you about in a second. Other protocols will say take 5 per day or 10 per day. And when you do the math, you're like, that's expensive, but I'm sure it's worth it. So I'm trying something new this week. Okay, what was the problem? The problem is that Mots-c degrades pretty darn quickly, and it does not last 2 weeks. So if you have a 10 milligram vial and you expect to take it 5 days on, 2 days off, it's week 2, it's starting to get cloudy in there and you got to throw it away. So with Mots-c, be very careful, take super good care of that product, keep it out of the sun, keep it out of the light, keep it in the fridge, in the butter drawer. And if you see, keep your eye out for fog. So now this week I'm doing 2 milligrams. So each vial will last me a week. Mots-c isn't something you do forever. On the lower doses, you could do it 8 weeks. On the 5 or 10, you're only doing it 2 to 4 weeks. So I'll be somewhere in the middle, I guess, now that I've switched it up. But that's one I really like. Again, they call it exercise in a bottle. They say it revs up your AMPK pathway. And I found it to be phenomenal and I love it. Previously, I was so low energy that I would just sit here all day and struggle to move. And now I feel like I have to take a walk every single day or my legs drive me crazy. Like I have to get up. It's not a restless leg thing. It's not like it's going to bother you all day, but it does encourage you. You have so much energy physically that you do want to do that movement, which is a big deal for me because I've had chronic fatigue for years. So that was pretty amazing. If you guys have any other ones that you guys have questions on, please put them in the comments. I will be happy to talk about anything that I know about. Okay, so the next one that's kind of an energy one is NAD+. And my first bottle, I took it low and slow because it can have some side effects. It can cause like face flushing. Let me see what else it causes. Let me pull up my cheat sheet here. Sorry, I've been taking notes. And password. Okay. But it can really improve energy. So the second time, now that I know that my body can handle it, I've taken more. So I'm taking upwards of 100 milligrams, or is it micrograms? No, 100, what's coming in the jar? I'd have to take a look and see what it says. Anyway, okay, here's some of the side effects. It can cause flushing, nausea, fatigue, lightheadedness, anxiety, headaches, sleep disturbances, palpitations. So it's something you want to start really low. I'm just thinking units right now, and units doesn't help anybody. But I started out higher. I did feel like I had some flushing. So then I moved down to 10 units and I've moved my way up to 100 units and I've been taking it intermuscularly. I know, I'm such a rebel. Why intermuscularly? Because it gets in there a little bit quicker, a little bit more absorption. So it's really helping me better with energy. I actually really like it intermuscularly, even though I hate intramuscular shots. I don't know if you've ever done one, but I like to spread my butt cheek out and then put it like on the upper side of the butt cheek in the center. And along with that, I'm also taking glutathione, but we can get into that in a second. So other ways you can take it is you can get it intravenously. The problem there is if you're taking these high doses, you're more likely to have side effects. But if you go really, really, really slow, like if you sit there for 4 hours, you won't have side effects and it'll help build it up in your system. Because once you get it built up in your system, now you don't necessarily have to take as much. Like let's say you build it up in your system and now you're taking a maintenance dose every week. You can definitely do it subcutaneously. That's how I started to get acclimated to it. And that's a really good idea. Okay, so they say it can improve your cellular energy, improve mental clarity and focus, support DNA repair. It is very anti-aging, improves muscle function, better metabolic health, helps support detoxification, which is why it's great with glutathione. And it says there's a potential for protection against neurodegenerative diseases. So I can tell you on here where I get that one from because it's prescription. I get it from Emily at Elevate Health and Hormones. If you email her, Emily at Elevate Health and Hormones, she can get you set up. She's using the same price as like some of the big boxes. So it's a decent price for what it is. You don't have to cycle NAD. So if it were me, I would suggest I would start subcutaneous, I'd start low, and I'd go up. Some protocols are as much as 200 units in one shot, 5 days a week. So that's another thing. I'm doing 5 days on, 2 days off on the NAD+. Okay, so The next one, I guess, since it goes hand in hand, is glutathione. And this one is supposed to help with your detoxing. And this is another one I had to start low and go slow, because when I got this intravenously, it gave me like a flu. I think it was just like a little too much for me. So again, with everything, start low and go slow. It's supposed to help with detoxification support, which many of us need. As I really needed detoxification support. It reduces oxidative stress. It can help with your immune system. It can help with your skin. It can make you brighter. It supports mitochondria, energy. It protects against toxins and heavy metals. It has some anti-aging benefits. And it has the potential to improve insulin sensitivity and metabolic function. So it's a great one to couple with GLP-1. Again, I got that right through Emily. And it's been great. Now, I just want to say again, I did not add all these things at the same time. I started with GLP-1 and I slowly tried one thing, and then I tried another thing, and then I tried another thing. So what was actually the first thing I tried after GLP-1 was AOD 9604. And what this one does is help metabolize fat cells. So one thing you could do, you can try, is put it in a spot that's troubling. Your stomach, your arm, your leg, wherever is your trouble spot, and it can really activate those areas to mobilize the fat. Some people will disagree with this, but I've overwhelmingly seen experts say that AOD is best in a fasted state. So what I was doing, which I don't do anymore, so that's why I've struggled to get it in, is I would take it the second I woke up, and then I would push my breakfast, do a fasted workout, and then eat my breakfast. This was working for me because I wasn't hungry in the morning anyway at this time. And I wanted to spread it away from my thyroid medicine that I was also taking. I wanted to spread my breakfast away from my thyroid medicine anyway. So get the fasted workout in and then do it. Another thing you could do is bump your dinner up. So eat your dinner a little earlier, give it a few hours, and then before bed, you could take it. If you are one of those people who fasts like round the clock, that's not me. But if it's you, you could potentially take it 2 times a day. The standard dosing that I've seen has been somewhere between 200 micrograms and 300 micrograms per dose. So if you're taking it once a day, you could take 300. If you're taking it twice a day, maybe you take 250 twice that day. So that's a kind of cool one, because many of us who've struggled with our weight our entire lives, our body struggles sometimes to convert fat to energy. And so this peptide, AOD 9604, kind of pushes that to get you to get your fat to become energy. There's a lady in our group who has said that she did a cycle of AOD and now she's cycling off and she misses it because she swears it gave her so much energy to take AOD. So it was really working for her. I feel like it did actually work for me because I was injecting it in my belly and I feel like my stomach is flatter. I do. Another reason I feel that it was working is because I did couple it with fasting and I would get like a flu. So I feel like I was flushing so much fat all at one time that my body was like, yeah. So start low, go slow. Hey, Better Barbie, glad you could catch me. By accident, I took my second NAD at 50 milligrams.
Mom?
Oh no. Yeah, I've experienced too much NAD at one time. Hey buddy. Oh boy. Oh my gosh. That's live for you. Oh boy.
Hey Mom, the fish are still alive.
Good, I'm so glad, buddy. Oh boy. Okay, don't touch this. Hey, don't tell anybody this is not a real wall. Oh buddy. I don't know how we're gonna fix this.
What happened?
You touched it. You're not supposed to touch this. Remember, we talked about that. Okay. Okay. I got tired of you guys looking at my bedroom, so I put up a wall. Oh, that's real for you. Please don't touch that again. I love you. I'll be done in just a couple minutes. Please don't touch it. I said no. Hey, what are you doing? You trying to push my buttons?
No, Mom, I'm trying. I want you to come outside with me.
I will in 5 minutes.
The fish are eating good.
We did something really funny today. Becky, you thought it was a real wall. I can't even straighten it right now. Please don't do that. Please. I just need 5 minutes, okay? Okay, so AOD 9604 was the second one that I used. Okay, anyway. Next, after AOD, what did I try next? BPC157, TB500. These are a great combo together. I'm just going to shut my door one sec. Porter doesn't have camp for the next 2 weeks, so you'll see lots of interruptions. Okay, why are BPC157 and TB500 great? Well, first of all, I know I just told you to start low and go slow. Start with one peptide. This one kind of breaks the rules. I've researched this deeply. I haven't seen a ton of side effects from it that people have reported. I didn't experience anything, and I'm kind of a herxy, histamine kind of girl, and I didn't feel that I had any side effects to this at all. It was very silent. They go really well together. I personally like them in separate vials because the dosing is different. BPC, you take it twice a day. 250 to 500 micrograms is like standard. Twice a day. TB500 is twice a week. And that's 2.5 milligrams standard twice a week. And what it does is it really helps with inflammation. And I was really hopeful this would happen, and I didn't know if it would. But when I take it, I don't have food reactions. So it really, really, really helps heal the gut. I usually see the scale to go down about 4 pounds when I'm on it. So it's reducing internal inflammation quite a bit. And when I cycle off of it, I see those 4 to 6 pounds come back. And then when I go back on it, the 4 to 6 pounds come off. So I really love that stuff. I really like it. Now, if for ease, it's easier for you to have things in one vial and not be juggling different schedules, remembering what day do I take this again? Then you can get them in the same vial. You absolutely can. There's also vials that come with KPV and GHKCU all in the same vial. And I've tried that. My problem is I don't have anything to cycle off. So what I can do now, next time, is BPC157 TB500 in one vial or in one cycle. What? What?
Where's my bee? Because I want my fish to be in the refrigerator like farmers are.
Okay, it's in the garbage can. And then on the off cycle, I'm going to do KPV, GHKCU. KPV is another one, very anti-inflammatory, very healing, great for people with autoimmune. GHKCU is very healing. It's very anti-aging. So that's my plan, is to just kind of cycle the two and not have them all in one vial. There's a point, I know many of you have hit it, but, and Becky says BPC and TB are great for pain and injury healing. Well, she didn't say injury healing, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Somebody asked me recently, they have a back injury. How do we get it right next to the injury on the back? Because that's bone right there, right? You're going to pinch the skin away from the bone and then get it in there. Like, get it as close to the injury as possible to try to heal it. So when people ask me, what should I do next? I love GLP-1. My next thing is to say, you should give BPC157 TB500 a try, because it's just so healing. So many people who struggle with it, is some healing that's needed. And I would almost say between the GLP-1 and the BPC, I'm almost like a normal eater. Like, I can have spices. I can go out to eat. I'm not having as many histamine responses. I love those ones. Okay, what else is there? Let's say you've been on Troscriptions, semaglutide for a long time. And for me, I never actually knew what people were talking about when they said they had appetite suppression. Like, I could still eat plenty of food, and I had to watch what I was eating to make sure that food noise didn't come back. Like, I did experiments, let's say, on the apple festival, yearly apple festival, seasonal apple festival, I ate a piece of apple pie. And for the rest of the day, food noise. Which, I mean, everybody here is probably saying, well, duh. But not everybody has that food noise. My husband doesn't have food noise. I just put in a story, a little update on my husband. He lost 50 pounds on GLP-1. He never hit the starting dose. He's never had an issue with food noise, but he eats on the road and he drinks soda pop. And he was showing some signs of insulin resistance. So we put him on it. He lost 50 pounds, never got to the starting dose, not even close. And then he's been traveling recently, so we haven't had time to like give him his shots. And he totally forgot about it. And it's been weeks, and I offered him a shot, and he was like, I'm good. Like, he's managing his weight loss. One concern I always had was, if we are a healthy GLP-1 producer and we give endogenous GLP-1, is that going to ruin your natural GLP-1 in my husband's case, it didn't. It absolutely didn't. And he was on it for 8 months and he still has great natural GLP-1 production and regulation. So for me, I'm still on 5 every 5 days. And my goal would be, I guess, to just kind of stay and maintain for a year. So like until February, and then play around with, I'm not saying it's going to be the winning ticket for me, but play around with going down, play around with spreading my shots out, playing around with cycling. But I'm not even going to put that pressure on myself for a year because I want to maintain what I have and just have peace and let my body acclimate to where it's at and just really feel this. But okay, let's say you've been on GLP-1 for a while and you're like me, you never really had this appetite suppression people were talking about. Like, I would notice at the end of the day, I didn't snack as much, but I had to work it. That would be a great time to try something called Cargrilitide. And this is something, I mean, just little bits of it, just little bits, like 0.25, just little bits. And I've added fruit back to my life, and I don't even take the 0.25 every week. I'm not consistent with it because I didn't write it down, and I'm not very adherent to it. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. But I find that I have complete control of my food. I have complete control. I'm not dealing with food noise. I can still eat plenty of food. I'm hungry for my meals because I'm still on that same dose of Troscriptions, but the brain is so quiet. I personally think it helps. There's some rumors out there that it could cause serotonin syndrome. I've deeply researched this. I found no indication that that's actually true. And I'm wondering if people who've experienced this, if what they've actually experienced is they underate or they fasted and that kicked their brain hormones down. But it wasn't actually the Cargrilitide itself, but the brain coming down. One thing with Cargrilitide, you don't want to expect to use your vial for 90 days. It's a pretty resilient peptide, but it's supposed to be at a different pH. So it will break down over time. So just with all of your vials, keep them out of the light, keep them in the butter drawer, and watch for fog, watch for granulars, watch for white stuff. I'm gonna take a look over here. GHACU. On my first month of TERS, ate some ice cream, no post-food noise. Wow. That is phenomenal. That's amazing. And that's another thing. When we do experiments, they're completely individual. For me, eating that apple pie didn't work, but for someone else on the same exact medication on even a lower dose, they could have complete control. We are so individual how our body is processing this, metabolizing it, how quick it's going through our system. We are so different. So I say it's great to do experiments and you got to listen to your body. This is going to be the best experiment of listening to your body. There were experiments that failed, but here's the thing. Overall, I didn't end up gaining weight from it. And it just kind of taught me something. I redid some of those experiments, like popcorn is one of them. In the beginning, popcorn, no. Now I feel I think I could eat a handful of popcorn, but maybe that's the Cargrilitide and not the Troscriptions. I don't know. So I really like that one for those people who are upping, and they're just not getting that food noise quieting. Like they're really having to work at it. And I think it's a really great tool for that. Another great thing here though is when we hit multiple receptors, we're hitting all these receptors. Instead of going up on just one receptor and burning that receptor out, we're kind of getting a more medicinal by having multiple receptors across the plane. So coming out soon is Cagrilitide semaglutide. It's coming out the end of this year, early next year. And there are tests for Cagriters and Cagriretta. Speaking of Cagriretta, the other one I absolutely love is Retatrutide. So if you've hit a stall on semaglutide or tirzepatide, adding just a touch of Retatrutide, like 0.25, 0.5, maybe even 1, maybe it's 0.25 twice a week. I don't know what's right for you. There's not a lot of great info out there. It's still being worked on. But just adding a touch of that can move the needle. So for me, I was stalled for like 4 months. I added 0.25 Reta upwards of twice a week. And over a 4-month period, I lost 10 pounds. So it really moved the needle. It's also showing to be very protective of your liver it's eviscerating visceral fat and fatty liver. And the same study where they showed this fatty liver reduction, upwards of like 86% of reduction of fatty liver, they also had a program where they were heavily monitoring and helping people with diet and exercise. Now, me and you know, we don't know what they mean by diet, but I'm going to guess whole foods protein focused, if I could guess. Something that we should be, our bodies should naturally be able to handle. I don't know. I guess I should look more into what exactly diet and exercise means, but they showed a 4% reduction in the fatty liver in the exercise and the very monitored hand-holding, checking in several times a week program. 4% reduction in fatty liver versus Retatrutide showed upwards of 86% of a reduction in the fatty liver. So that's one I absolutely love. Okay, let's see here. Thank you for all your info. Carnivore wasn't enough for me. Me either. I am happy to share. I'm so excited about these tools. We're seeing so much success in our group. You're down 11 pounds? This is why I shared in my stories a few days ago a confrontation with this guy named Anthony. I have no hard feelings because he doesn't know what I know. He really doesn't know what I know. And once you try this and you feel it, and then you just know, like, I was working so hard my whole life. I was blaming myself my whole life. Like, I must not be working this hard enough. I must not be doing this right. I must not have the right formula. I must not be in a big enough deficit, but too much of a deficit, but I must have timed my exercise wrong and I didn't sleep and I didn't look at the sunlight and I didn't, like all the things. You're like, I just must not be doing the things. I must be me, is what I thought my whole life. And you try this and you realize, no, there was something not communicating underneath and I needed more tools. And once we have those tools, and then I had to slow my lifestyle down to lose more weight. I had to slow down the stressful things I was doing to my body. And I'm so grateful to not be stressing it out every single day. And I look back and, they would just say, you got to do it harder. That's what Anthony would say is, you just didn't do it hard enough. You didn't have the right coach. I had great coaches. I had amazing coaches. I even hired a one-on-one coach that was pretty phenomenal and got some body tone changes. It's not a lack of coaching. It's that some of us need more. Retta is my jam. That's what Becky says. How do we know which peptide to take? Are there tests? There are not tests. My suggestion is to start with Tirzepatide. Okay, I'll be out there in just a minute. Okay, buddy?
Mom, I spilled the bag.
You spilled the bag of fish?
Yeah. And there's water all over.
It's okay, buddy. I'll help you in just a sec. I'm going to have to go because my son just spilled probably 20 minnows all over my floor. Oh, boy. I hope there's no mold. Okay, so those are some of the main ones to get started with. I would start with Tirzepatide. I've seen some people do Retatrutide only, but most of the people who do Retatrutide only are doing microdoses and they're bros. There are some people, we work with a doctor, Emily, or not, she's not a doctor, she's a practitioner. We work with Emily. She works with a lot of people who love Reta. They love it. But I've also seen some people feel dystopic on it. I don't know if that's the right word. Where they just feel no joy. So like if you have to go up on a higher dose, that they lose some joy. So I personally really like Tirzepatide with a little splash of Reta. But I gotta go clean up some fish. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Hopefully you watch the replay and see how absolutely disastrous this was and you laugh with me. And I hope you guys have a great day. Please comment below if there are peptides you want me to talk about because I'm happy to talk about peptides all day and night. So, all right, you guys, I hope you have a great day. If you like this, please like, subscribe, and share. Goodbye.
Now, it can make lots of more.